So, guys, I decided enough's enough. I'm currently in talks with Akash's agency because he crowd-worked me. He crowd-worked me, and he was racist against my people, my fellow Indians. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. Well, you read the title. You know what we're getting into today. We've seen him before on Many the Thing, including Arrested Development's Tobias, as well as Men in Black's comic book guy, I think it was. Think it was a comic book guy. Anyway, it's David Cross. Let's hear it for David Cross. Give it up at home. You can tell if you're not clapping. Great. So, the clip we're going to show in order to get to know David Cross is one that was shown on Red Bar fairly recently. I mean, you know, on one of the more recent episodes of Red Bar. Granted, there haven't been any in like a year, unfortunately, but on one of the more recent episodes, Mike and Jules go over this particular podcast appearance by Mark Normand on official David Cross's podcast. And Mark was a little, let's call him ungracious as a house guest, shall we? He was, well, let's just take a look.
I would try my best. I pride myself in being a professional, but if, you know, you suss it out.
This is David talking, by the way.
After 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and you're like, this isn't going to work. And then I will go and push buttons. But I don't ever go out there going, fuck you, assholes. I'm not like Red Fox on that famous story.
You have a little Larry David in you.
Okay, let's hear. His name's David Cross, Mark, but
yeah,
that kind of like, this isn't gonna work out. Let's go nuclear.
Yeah, for sure. But I always,
from what I can tell, comics do not like being compared to. And it's funny because you'd think that as an artist, being compared to someone who is at the top of your niche, the top of your genre. Larry David being like a classic where it always comes off to me watching these comedians react to when someone tells them like you've got kind of a Larry David thing going on, because I think it happened with Joe List too, or maybe he just got busted on Red Bar for like stealing Larry David style. In any case, they always take it kind of offensively. Musicians will do the same thing. If you listen to a band and you go, hey, you guys are kind of like X, Y, or Z band, they're going to be like, X, Y, or Z band? I've never even listened to them. X, Y, or Z band? Nope, never heard of the Beatles.
He's always give it
In this case, he's like, yeah, sure. But, more importantly, not what you said about me being like Larry David.
That kind of like, this
Totally different David.
isn't gonna work out. Let's go nuclear.
Yeah. For sure. But I always give it a shot. Always. And I pride myself in, winning them back and getting people back. So, I don't.
Sweet. So if we're turned off by David early on in this special, he prides himself in winning us back. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. It's a thing we've learned.
At the place I'm at.
I also like that he doesn't like somebody thiefed his joy with comparison.
Now, if I didn't.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Well, you're a rare breed where you can do the silly stuff.
First of all, that's rude regardless. I don't care if you're on a bus or a train or some kind of subterranean train-like people mover. That's a crazy move. To just open mouth fucking like you gotta do what you gotta do, of course. You don't want to like pop, building up too much pressure or whatever, but like that's great. You can tell when someone kind of milks it. Now, anyone that's watched Mark Normand on anything knows that he is prone to moving the microphone to wherever he may be expelling some form of gas. His gaseous emissions. It's very his style. Let's see what David Cross thinks about this.
Rare breed where you can do the silly stuff. Where you can do the stand up, but you can also paint yourself.
David's looking back like, what the fuck? What is this?
Blue.
What the fucking?
Here we go.
That's me.
What?
Did you miss bro time or something? What happened? Did you
Bro
not get to
time.
watch the football game yesterday?
I am offended. Not everyone that enjoys the sport of footing ball is an outright belcher. Or if I do, I will at least do the bare minimum and say, excuse me, would you?
Yesterday?
I don't watch football.
Well, that's
Oh, watch football.
all right. Why don't you start watching football, and then you can save all your burps and your farts for the game.
All right, I didn't know this was tea time over here.
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I clicked to a random spot on here. This is literally the exact stuff that Red Bar covered. Check that out. You'll find it on YouTube. I am not doing this this is a different kind of, this isn't an expose, this is a backstory, okay? This is for my own integrity. No one's ever been like, hey man, that's a little close, isn't it? So for my own integrity, I must say that this is for backstory purposes only. Yes, I'm aware they did this on the bar.
At the Cross residence.
It's
What is this, Downton Abbey? Huh? Etiquette class? I thought we were just hanging out. She queefed earlier.
Okay?
That's not true.
All right.
no, that was me.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It was very airy.
Okay.
But sorry, it won't happen again. That's
Sitting there he's clutching his chair. He's clutching his chair with discomfort.
the last expel of my body.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not.
Okay, I don't know if this was. In any case, let's just hear him out.
It's not that you farted or that you burped. It's not. It's this.
Okay, so he did. He tooted earlier on. Yeah, that's how I say it. He tooted earlier on in the show, and that really David gets up and walks the fuck out, if I'm not mistaken. He's like, oh, and he takes off, and Mark's sitting there like, what? Mark knew exactly what he was doing when he did the belch too, clearly. But again, we're getting to know David Cross here a little bit.
And then and then with the
It was a fake one, don't worry.
Yeah.
So there's
Also fake.
a way to do both of those
I
things.
see.
You separate yourself from the tribe.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you an only kid?
No, older brother.
Oh, of course. Well, there you go.
What were you gonna say, David? What, you could have said anything. I don't know. I guess it does make sense, the logic he's applying, where it's like, oh, boys are savages.
There you go.
What does that mean?
That means he
I revoke my offense.
would have taught you that.
No, he's very dainty. Not dainty, but he's very sophisticated.
I love a comedy fight where they won't actually argue, but they just kind of sling jokes at one another, even though they get increasingly closer and closer to what they know is going to be genuinely insulting, rather than surface level roast shit. Where they start doing stuff like that, where he's did you have a brother? Did you have siblings? I had an older brother. Oh, of course you had an older brother. He's just I bet he was like this. Mark fires one back and is like, no, he was very dainty. Kind of see David oh, dainty, huh, motherfucker.
So I would infer that you realize you're not sophisticated.
I guess so.
You're coarse. You're common.
Oh, that's a comedy strike. It's just, they're barely, and it's slowly, the longer it goes on, they slowly lose more and more of the veneer of like we're comedians, and eventually it just gets like mean, and then someone will eventually like pull up and be like, you know, I love you. Of course we're best friends, you know. Please take me on tour with you or whatever they suck each other off for.
And you're
maybe for fun.
You're
good.
You're just
Sewer garbage.
you're chud.
Chud. I like that.
Chud feels like an acronym. Does anyone know what CHUD stands for?
I would say chode if we're being realistic.
No, chud.
I have
something underwater. I mean, underground dweller.
Oh.
Oh, okay. CH underground dweller. So still, let me know if you know what CHUD stands for.
Oh, is that a chud?
Yeah, there was a horror movie called Chud, and it was something underground dweller.
Oh, kind of like Marta.
No.
Boy, this is excruciating here at the end, isn't it? My goodness. We're getting to something. There's only a couple minutes left in this whole pod, and I'm pretty sure this ends in like a really crazy way.
Oh, it's not a, what do you call that?
Oh, yes.
An anagram?
Not an anagram, an acronym.
An acronym.
Yeah.
Called it.
We got it.
And
I know acronyms.
an acronym is
IKA.
An allowance creatively. I don't remember.
You got this, Dave. Come on.
I'm giving
You didn't know the second word in this acronym for acronym?
you go up on my joke.
An acronym is a, what's another example of one? Like FEMA.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But MARTA was just something that somebody put onto
Yes,
MARTA.
yes.
They made up their own acronym.
Again, that took time. That racist guy had to probably get pen to paper on that.
Yeah, I mean, and it somebody somewhere was.
So I think him saying racist guy reminded David that he had like a bone to pick of some kind. He had like something that was on his mind.
Taking credit for it. Never met him.
Yeah.
And there's somebody at, like, I came up with that.
Yeah.
That was me.
We should do that sketch. That'd be a great sketch. The racist joke savant who gets no credit.
Man, Bob had a.
I'll say this about Mark Norman too. Okay, before anyone gets up in arms, I don't like dislike Mark. I honestly, when it comes to Mark Norman, I feel almost nothing. Like I'll say this to his credit, since I'm about to say something that's anti his credit. To his credit, he's a good follow on X because he's the only one that still tweets like it used to be, where he's just like sharing random thoughts or puns, and sometimes they're, contemporary with news or whatever's going on politically, but it's always like a dumb one-liner, fun joke. I'm all about that. Usually pun-based or word-based jokes. Like, stepdad, that's a faux pas. Get it? So, to his credit, that stuff's good. Podcast Cringe loves the guy. Absolutely loves the dude. He's always kind of ball washing every now. Mark Norman on J.R. Slow Joe's podcast. Fucking slow. He calls him Slow Joe. Do you guys remember the kids in school who were like kind of mean but bad at bullying, where they weren't like funny, and you'd end up just making fun of that kid? Like, that kid would be making fun of someone lower than them on the totem pole, and you'd be like, shut the fuck up, cringy, look at you. Like, Slow Joe, really, dude? Slow Joe, tall and funny scientist, Slow Joe Rogan. It's like, that's too many bad nicknames, man. Because I don't even think it's like ironic. I don't think he realizes that it's just like stupid. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway. So Mark, I've noticed, to not necessarily his credit, isn't really great at making comedy connection friends. Like, don't get me wrong, all his like stand-up friends love him and stuff, and he's on the Protect Our Parks, and he's like got some pretty prestigious, like, he has a pretty prestigious reputation in stand-up comedy. But when he starts branching out and going to these other genres of comedy. For instance, David Cross, who's very, very, very famous TV comedian guy, sketch comedian guy. Very famous sketch comedian guy. Or, again, Arrested Development, which in my opinion is one of the best comedies ever written. Seasons 1 through 3 are, at least. Would it shock you to find out that there are 5 seasons of Arrested Development? There might be 6. 4 got weird because there was that big long gap. But seasons 1 through 3 are fantastic. And he's solid the whole way through. David Cross as Tobias is one of the strongest characters, especially after season 3. They focus a lot on him and his arc with Debris and all that. Anyway. But Mark, when he's trying to make friends who are comedians that aren't necessarily stand-up exclusive, he does a weird job of trying to, cool kid them. Mark's a fantastic example of a dude who never got off the, back seat of the bus. You know what I'm saying? That's where the cool kids hang out when you're young and you get on the bus and you got to sit way up front and you can hear them, laughing and doing, pranks and stuff back there. And, you, look back and they're like, quit fucking looking back here. You're like, okay, I'm so sorry. I won't. But then you get older and you start making your way back there farther and farther. And then eventually it's just you in that one handicap seat that's a single seat. You can sit there like this, like a king. I feel like Mark never left that single seat because he's always kind of trying to act like that guy. I've seen him be genuine before. On Harlan's podcast, Harlan kind of worked through Mark's facade of comedy. And we actually got a real story out of him, which is, you can watch my video, Mark Norman's SA, if you want. Anyway. But Mark also had Ed Helms on the podcast. Another thing I covered. He had Ed Helms on the podcast and just couldn't. He kept kind of trying to do what he just did. And we'll go back so you can hear it. But where he's like, hey, we should do a comedy movie together. Half joking, half pitching it. And both times you can kind of. They're not even willing to really humor it as a funny concept or idea. They're always just kind of Mark, he has a hard time making friends outside of people he's known for many, many years.
With that.
Yeah.
That was me.
We should do that sketch. That'd be a great sketch. The racist joke savant who gets no credit.
Man, Bob had a really good idea.
Whoa, he swerved that hard. He goes, Man, Bob, I assume he's talking about Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, for a sketch we never ended up doing about a...
That's the Don't Call Me Saul guy. Better Call Saul.
All the hip-hop guys were getting there. They would go visit this, old Southern racist guy and...
Here it comes.
His porch in, Georgia or wherever. And it was basically, he would take, their lyrics and he's like, oh, niggas ain't shit, but da-da-da, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they would all sit there and listen.
Oh, my God. Hollywood's changed, man.
And write it down and then they go.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a great sketch.
It was a good idea. Yeah.
That's very Chappelle showy.
So it's really funny. I think Red Bar pointed this out during their coverage of it. But I think this was David's kind of revenge. It was sort of his in this comedy fight where he's gotten the Mark all but called him a ninny. Where that's still in contemporary vernacular, he just said ninny. He called him a dainty or something, which is only slightly more modern. But I think David kind of needed to get one back, needed to land one, when I used to play football, I had this thing where if I got stuck, it would only hurt until I hurt the next person, and then it would be better. And that seems to be what he's kind of going through. Hey, what's happening, Zero? How art thou? That kind of seems to be what's happening here, where Mark sort of put him under boot a little bit by being like, "What? You don't like it when I poop my pants? You're not into burping?" And David's kind of doing it in his own way, sort of suckered him in. Because watch how Mark responds to this. At first, he's kind of like, "Oh, hey," and then sort of kind of lets the conversation finish. But then,
yeah, pre-Chappelle.
Pre. But I like that.
Yeah.
First of all, Mark was like, "It's kind of Dave Chappelle-esque," which again is he's thieving his joy. He's thieving David's joy, making him, making him feel compared.
You gonna bleep that N-word or what?
Ooh.
Free. But I like that.
Yeah.
You gonna bleep that N-word or what?
So, what's about to follow, a term coined by the great Red Bar, is Cross's Law. Let's hear what Cross's Law is.
No, because it's the A. It's the AH.
It's the AH.
I
Mark goes, ooh, I
don't know about...
I do that same thing. Ooh, does it?
I don't know if that flies.
Yeah, AH.
Oh. He's there looking off camera. Dude, who's he consulting? He looks off camera and he goes, yeah, AH?
Okay. It's your show. See,
it
to
is
me,
my show.
That's worse than farting.
Oh, Mark. Are we American Reed acting right now? I, personally, don't think those words belong anywhere in comedy. It's a little running gag we have, because I got it like that. I make art on money, not money from art. Someone make that rap.
I disagree. I don't think when you're in the context of this idea, I think you should be able to communicate it as it's intended.
Okay.
Cross's Law! Now, without further ado, let's go check out his special. It's called The End of the Beginning. It's called The End of the Beginning of the End, which is a totally understandable and acceptable title. Okay. This is done on 800-pound Gorilla Media. Let's give it up for them. We like 800-pound Gorilla Media here at the show Critical Leaks. Oh shit, thank you for following, Zero. I just got that notif. I just saw it. God knows when I got it. I was checking out Cross's Law material. So anyway, let's jump into it and then we'll do the reading. This came out 3 days ago on 800-pound Gorilla Media. It would be about 5 days ago when you're watching this. He put it out on his website first, because I saw him on Tiger Belly, which... Excuse me. He was playing very nice on Tiger Belly. He was kind of... Again, he was being sweet. He's being very yes and-y. I don't think he had anything coming out when he did that podcast with Norman, so he was like kind of willing to all but tell him to fuck off. How about Cross's Law? Again, shout out Red Bar. That is a Red Bar coined term. I'm just perpetuating it. Oh! 800-pound Gorilla Media. Georgia! We're at the 40-watt club in Georgia, did he say? Athens, Georgia! Athens, Georgia? Wow, this is a really, really cool little venue. The camera's doing a 360 and we're looking back over the crowd of maybe like 100 people. So pretty cool. Comedians like it. Small. Confirmed. They like it small. So, it's panning out over the audience, kind of doing a little pivot, and there's, paper mache stars hanging from the ceiling, kind of dangling. There's a bunch of Christmas lights over what I assume is the bar. It frankly looks like a room I would stay in. So I feel comfortable here. Who the fuck is this discount Jack Black? We got goddamn Jack Gray over here. Jack Cobalt. The end of the beginning of the end. You know, I've kind of gone back and forth on my favorite type of intro. I like this organic one. I like the organic one. It doesn't have a bunch of like generic sounding hip hop music, like we're going to comedy with the microphone and like. I think those are really contrived and frankly overplayed now. They're sort of hackneyed because everyone's like, oh, it's cool. Like I'm like a cool hip hop guy. You know what I'm talking about. Or worse, you got like the new Legion of Skanks theme. Am I right? Go Mites? We hate that. We Legion of Skanks fans who didn't just start listening one episode ago because Dave Smith is gone. Or did we? Yeah, people are pissed off about that theme song, but case in point, a nice organic, someone, you get Jack Cobalt up there on the stage, like, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for David Cross. So then the crowd cheers, we don't have to do any, like, cold opens. Where they're like, here's a joke that I had to cut out, but I liked it a lot anyway, so I put it as the intro. Anyway, I like we like the organic intro. So far, I think that takes the cake. Someone get a Wikipedia going so I can remember all this.
Oh, Athens, thank you. Thank you for...
David is rocking a curious look. He looks like he stole his wardrobe from a Patton Oswalt character. So he's got like a flat brim. I think those are the A's, which I want to say is Atlanta. I'm guessing he's a Georgian, like the state. Not like the country that has a pretty solid ice dance team right now. Oh, I get to go see Stars on Ice this Thursday. Oh, I'm so fucking stoked, dude. The Quad God is going to be there. Google it.
Oh, Athens, thank you. Thank you for coming out. I'm here tonight kind of in a...
People are talking. Why are people talking? This is David Cross's special. Show a little respect.
Thank you for coming out.
He's wearing a veritable flat brim A's shirt. And his funny kind of very light denim button up that's unbuttoned. He's got a black shirt beneath it. And then on his, I suppose, like lapel is what this is. Just over his right titty, there's like a cat who seems to be smoking something. Just like a cat's head, but it's like got something hanging out of its mouth. Pretty cool kitty.
I'm here tonight kind of in a way going back to my roots. I've been here numerous times over the years. Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I don't know if anybody knows that.
He's from Atlanta. Oops, I hit something.
But now I live in New York. I've lived there for quite a while, and I used to live in Manhattan in the East Village, which was great. And now I live in Brooklyn, and I love it. I love Brooklyn. Wouldn't move back. There's some things I miss about the East Village, but I'm very happy in Brooklyn. And a little while ago, my then girlfriend and now wife decided to
David, that's bad. David Cross, that's bad. That's what are we, a minute in? I was just getting the melody going, bro. I'm just the thunder on the horizon. We're about to ring in a storm, my friend. You're dicking me with this Hertz Cars bullshit? We don't like this, David. We won't forget it. But we do appreciate Cross's law, and so we're forgiven.
Girlfriend and now wife decided to
a handful of people. Woo! Marriage! You did it! He kind of stops in a funny way and looks up. That was funny.
And now wife decided to
okay, that was really funny. He goes, keeps going.
Decided to fuck and decided to move to Brooklyn, and then a few years after Brooklyn after we moved there,
it's guys I knew. Fuck them. They're getting so good at that. Most of the music I listen to these days, it's not necessarily true, but most of the songs that get stuck in my head these days are these goddamn knockoff rock and roll songs for all of these prescription drugs. I'm thinking that some of my homies here they don't live in the States. I don't know. Not asking. Don't tell me. But if there's anyone that's not living in the States, apparently you guys don't have prescription drugs advertised on TV. Whereas here in America, it's fucking constant. And each one of them has, like, because Ozempic did the, like, they stole the It's Magic theme. And so now you got everyone doing that. And I mean, people have always kind of, like, reorganized old rock and roll songs for commercials. I mean, there's the classic from the Doors movie, the "Come on, baby, light my fire." Like, and then he got mad and, like, KMS'd himself or whatever. But, see, I know acronyms. But it's for so many reasons incredibly insidious. I don't know if they're actually getting the rights to do those songs, because after the whole Stairway to Heaven court case where they ruled in the favor of the person they ruled in favor of Led Zeppelin, because the whole lawsuit was about someone wrote a song which is, I mean, it's just like Stairway to Heaven. Now, granted, it's the harmony part, same chord progression, very comparable picking pattern. It's finger pick, like it's very, very, very similar. But the court ruled that it wasn't similar enough to sue Led Zeppelin for what some people call the greatest rock and roll song of all time. I disagree. Day the Music Died, I think, is top 3 at least. Stairway is top 5, but I just heard it the other day. I was like, yeah, it's good. Kind of takes its time. But I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, Freebird's better than, I mean, like, I don't like the song, but as far as, like, iconic, epic rock and roll songs that lasted the test of time, because these Zoomers are running around doing Freebird on their TikToks. I think I added a bass to it, a bass drum. It's an 808. I mean, again, you want to talk about lasting the test of time. Anyway, so I get all these songs stuck in my head from these medication commercials, and that connects to this special because
we found out we were going to have a kid, and
the Hertz car's our new thing. That's how we got there. Doesn't pertain to this special. It pertains to the purveyor of this special's penchant for pesky advertisements. Please, let's get back to the show.
Thank God I opened up that email, or we'd never would have found out, you know? God.
There's just a lot of nuance to this. You kind of have to pay pretty close attention. It's not a bad thing.
Going to have a kid, and thank God I opened up that email, or we'd never would have found out, you know? We just would have been like, what the fuck is that thing doing here?
Okay.
So when we found out we were going to have a kid, I did something...
You know, expectations subverted, where you were expecting it to not have been on email, but then, you see, he said it was.
That has been a dream of mine for a long time, and I bought a brownstone in Brooklyn. But then this thing happened.
What bartender is out there not cracking these cans?
Second I bought it, like the second the purchase went through, and
because, like, it's always gonna make a noise, but at least as a bartender, you kind of know how to, like, here you are. You just hand it. And moreover, why they don't do this at, like, festivals and stuff is that becomes a projectile. If you just huck that into the crowd, you could send someone to the hospital.
Tell me,
because beer?
If you've ever experienced this, if you...
Now there's a nuance for you, Mr. Cross.
You own it, or your house or land or whatever. The second I got it, I started getting inundated with text messages and emails constantly from people, strangers, asking me to sell them the house that I just bought. Yes. And it's fucking annoying as shit, right? You get on some list, and you recognize it immediately. You know, I don't know Karen in North Carolina, you know, whatever, and you just delete. But a little while back, I got an email, and the subject heading was checking in on you.
This is Expedience Jim.
That's what you do. I'm constructing a nice background for you. We're doing melodic accompaniment, making this fully transformative. I'm tickling around here, a little G major, just having fun, man, just rocking this little shit. And all of a sudden, you just, with your goddamn ad breaks, David, you split, to be fair, you split the blame with 800-pound Gorilla Media, but you're both guilty. And we are not even 3 minutes in. We are at 2:44, and there have been 2 ad breaks. That is a record.
And these were troubled times, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and I think his mentality, and I don't know David Cross very well as a character. I'm still getting to know him. But it seems to me, if I'm tracking his motivations and the reactions I've seen, he seems to have a streak of pettiness to him. Perhaps a good heart, but a streak of pettiness. And he put this out a week ago on his own website. Now, you could go to his website and you could pay like $8.99 for it or whatever. And then a week later, he dropped it on 800-Pound Gorilla Media as a collab on the YouTube. I think in his mind, he was like, well, if they want it without ads every minute and a half, they should come watch it on my website. But David, that's just not how... We have so many options to go watch. There are so many stand-up fucking specials. It's part of the way I accidentally really tapped into a fucking rich oil field here because they're constantly putting them out. That might not be forever, but that's the thing with finite resources. Is you drill, baby, drill, and you deal with the repercussions of your fracking later. So, it's not you or no comedy, David. It's you or the next comedian. And frankly, unfortunate, and I hate to say this to my man who played Tobias, because I'm serious, I have a ton of respect for this man's capacity for comedic acting. As a character actor, he is and I mean this, and I don't throw this word around, genius. But, as far as relevance is concerned, David hasn't really been at the front and center of the public eye. You know what I mean? This isn't Shane Gillis dropping a special. Or Mark Norman, even. Like, Mark Norman has gotten more of a loyal stand-up comedy base, so he can be a little bit more egregious or a little bit more vindictive with the way he treats his fans. David doesn't have those fans yet. I represent the masses here, David. I am a prospective fan of your stand-up comedy. I like you already. I like the work you've been a part of already. Seems like a gimme, right? But if you keep dicking us like this, I can't support that. You put out this piece of art, and again, I do consider stand-up comedy to be an art form. Fucking come at me. You put out this piece of work, and you spend, unless you don't care about your timing or your cadence, you don't care about immersion, and if that's the case, why the fuck should I care? You don't care enough to not put 2 ads before 3 minutes have gone by. Why should I care enough to watch the whole thing and try to support you through this? I'm going to, because it's, what we do here, Critical Leaks. But, it just seems wildly out of touch. And this is all speculation. Maybe David didn't know. Maybe he's that out of touch and didn't know that 800-Pound Gorilla Media, if left to their own means, is going to pack these things full of ads. But I don't think that's what happened.
And
I think what I said I think happened.
I didn't recognize the name or anything like that, but the guy was checking in on me.
Bro needs some sunglasses.
And so I did.
He's got some big old black eyes around his eyeballs. It's, at least in the lighting he's in right now, he's got black eyes like a doll's eyes.
The guy was checking in on me. And so I didn't delete it. I thought it would, the proper thing.
Pretty unprofessional there. He's pulling out the mic stand. Was it out and he moved it initially? Yeah. Yes, okay. So it was out, he moved it back. Now 3 minutes and 2 ad breaks later, he's pulling it back out. Let's hope it's for an act out and not just because he's fidgeting.
Thing to do is to at least open it up.
You're talking off of mic, David.
So it's from a Mark.
So he steps back to the table to grab a piece of paper. Now there are people who hate this stuff. But I would imagine if you were to compare my taste to theirs, I would find their taste wanting. I don't care if it's funny, fucking run it. Like, there was this, and I heard this brought up recently, but there was this whole like props are hack movement thing, and we got like Jeff Dunham and stuff. But for the most part, aside from puppeteers, there was Carrot Top who would do like props, like, hey, you know, it's a toothbrush for your car, and it's just like a whatever. It's like a car brush but with a tooth on it. Ha! You know, but I think props can be really funny. And not having memorized your entire act is not a deal breaker for me. So let's hear him out. Bad start. He's saying the guy's name.
At Compass Realty, and it's Mark with a C.
What does Mark Norman spell his? Oh, with a K. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
I'm with you. I feel the same way. It's like, it's suspicious, right? You know, like,
just wait till I do my name reveal, boy.
I see that.
People are going to hate the way I spell my name, baby.
Kind of like, nice try, Marcus. But
oh, by the way, a fun abbreviation for critical eeks. Critical eeks. VCTE. I didn't know how I was going to bring that up. It's sort of unceremonious, but there you have it. Welcome to CTE. It applies, let me tell you.
Hey, Mark, go fucking change the C to a K and get rid of the... anyway. So...
Even when your room is 80 degrees.
Guys, I don't really know. I can't get into the swing of this. 3 minutes and 46 seconds in, that's the third ad. This shit shouldn't be legal. Call the gods of YouTube. Because we're pissed and we're sick of all these goddamn advertisements. Okay, I think we're still on. We still got the same duration we had before. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a power outage. Brightness. It's too much brightness. Turn that shit down, bro. It's too bright on our face, I tell you. Okay, sorry about that. I should not have summoned the gods of YouTube. I know that now. My Icarusian folly, I beg you forgive. Flew too close to the sun.
At Compass...
That was crazy, too. I don't even live somewhere where that happened. Is there anybody out there? Can anybody heal me? Okay. I think we're good. I apologize for anyone that's watching. Thank you for sticking around. Back to some CTE.
To a K, get rid of the... anyway. So, Mark at Compass Realty writes me, checking in on you. Hey, David, with all the craziness, I wanted to check in. How are things for you? Our family is just getting over a stomach bug. And hunkering down in Park Slope for the holiday.
Oh my God, they've never done this before. For the first time in CTE history. I love it too much, I'm never stopping. I ain't never gonna stop. For the first time in CTE history, we can see the audience mics. Now, I've always known they were using a condenser microphone. I have one around, but it's buried somewhere. But it's just a long, skinny thing. It's tubular, if you will. And it's for picking up areas of sound, right? It's just, I've got mics almost identical, probably not as good as the ones they're using. I always knew they were using those mics, but I kind of figured they were like hanging from the ceiling or something, but I guess it makes the most sense that they would be facing directly at the audience. And you've seen me point out before, look, you can hear this person's laugh much more clearly than the rest of the audience's laughs. This person's sitting right next to the mic. Oh, well. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? We have a screenshot now of exactly this. Screenshotted, baby. For future proof. Let me know if you want to see it. I can just tell you, it's a microphone sitting on a stage, facing the audience. But here it's a big deal.
Where will you be? With all that's going on,
we're going back.
Hunkering down in Park Slope for the holiday. And hunkering down in Park Slope for the holiday. Where will you be? With all that's going on, wishing you a very happy and prosperous new year. From my home to yours, smiley face, Mark. Mark, licensed real estate salesperson, 917-767. 917-767. licensed real estate salesperson, 917-767.
767 86. Call up Mark.
Now, again,
I think it's funny that he said it out loud. I don't. Why not?
917-766.
Someone's on the internet giving their phone number out. Why not fucking dox them? You could so clearly read his lips. You don't even need to be good at it. Like I will be someday.
All right, so these were troubled times, and he was checking in, going out of his way, and I thought it'd be rude
Ooh, my bad. I transposed this.
Not answer back. So I wrote him back. Mark, thanks so much for checking in. Yeah, it's been crazy over here. Calvin's death.
My friends, I think at this point, we may have been trolled. Right? Doesn't this seem a little too concentrated to be like, oh, I had no idea. That's 4 in just over 5 minutes. We are at 5:03. That is the 4th ad break. David, please stop this.
Not to say disturbing.
Like, as people know, I've come into a lot of these really not liking the guy or the gal in one case. We really need to do Jordan Jensen. We've not covered enough women on this. But regardless, they don't put out a lot of them. There's not a lot. They're not coming out very frequently. And Jordan Jensen's super popular, so she's on like Hulu or something. Or at least her Bradley Cooper movie is. Whatever. Point being, I come into a lot of these not really liking the guy. Then I listen to their comedy. And I'm like, this fucks. Happened with Matt McCusker in front of all of you. In fact, many of the angry comments below that video, I think, were of people who didn't listen to my actual coverage. They just decided I'm a hater, and so they hate what I do. I really liked that special a lot. I was raving from the point of the opening credits. I went into this. Okay. So this is my impression of me going into Matt McCusker's special and then seeing the rollerblading intro. And then this is my impression of that. Okay, so I'm coming in.
Well, I mean, how are you supposed to explain to a 9-year-old about autoerotic asphyxiation?
Insane.
And you can't lie to kids these days. Not like you used to before the woke police started patrolling this place.
Okay, this actually seems funny. I'm just pissed at David.
Sudden and shocking. Mark, thanks so much.
So Mark hits him up. It's a real estate agent. Gave his phone number. David doxed him twice. Now David is responding to the email.
Much for checking in. Yeah, it's been crazy over here. Calvin's death was so sudden and shocking. Not to say disturbing. I mean, how are you supposed to explain to a 9-year-old about autoerotic asphyxiation? And you can't lie to kids these days. Not like you used to before the woke police started patrolling this place. And guess what?
You gotta wonder. I mean, David Cross is not, as I said before, he's not just a stand-up comedian. He's like a very famous just guy. Like call him like a C-tier celebrity, but if Brad Pitt is A tier, David Cross is a C-plus tier. He's very famous. I'm not on the alphabet. I'm a ZZ, class ZZ tier. But David's incredibly famous, maybe not by name, maybe you have to kind of be into comedy, pretty irreverent comedy too, I guess, to really like have heard his name enough to memorize it, but it's a simple name. Maybe it's pretty common too. My point being that like you gotta wonder if this real estate agent gets a letter from someone named David Cross that's really, I mean not really funny, but that's clearly comedic. What the fuck am I hearing? That sounds fine, right? I unsummoned the gods of YouTube! I'm sorry, forgive my hubris! I don't know if it works, man. What have I summoned into this home? Anyway, so you gotta wonder if you see this real estate agent is like, oh, that's kind of funny. David Cross. David Cross, is that the guy from Men in Black, the comic shop? The nerdy guy from Men in Black?
She had already heard the term, and so I couldn't pretend it was
Do you
something.
hear that cough? That's the guy sitting right next to the microphone.
Hey, guess what? She had already heard the term, and so I couldn't pretend it was something else. I ended up settling on telling her the truth without all the graphic details, i.e. all that shit about furries, etc. And it became a long lesson in not kink shaming, so I guess there's a silver lining. I will still be in Brownsville, potting with Aisha, Mamaroneck, White Peter, and Yasmin. No plans on leaving until we can get our money back from that disastrous ayahuasca baby shower.
Ayahuasca Baby Shower is a pretty solid indie band name. If they played like psychedelic inspired things.
What a dumb
With like a bit of a punky edge.
idea. I tried to talk them out of it, but to no avail. And they swatted me. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for our linked Netflix account, I'd be out of there so fucking fast. Oh, and Mark, as you may or may not know, Andrea ended up staying in Majorca and is going to fight the extradition. She's hoping
Staying in Mallorca is going to fight the extra dish?
in Majorca and is going to fight the extradition.
The extradition. Okay. Okay.
She's hoping COVID helps her, but who knows? I can't believe she bowed to the man and got fucking jabbed.
It's interesting because he's kind of like half doing like a red pill guy. He's like, oh, I got the jab and the woke police. But he also like used this. This character is just all over the place. I'm nitpicking. Nate picking.
Oh well. In better news, I was able to secure funding for The System, my musical based on the Turner Diaries. And Buddy and Tia are looking at workshopping it in Coeur d'Alene this summer. God willing. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for checking in, Mark.
Okay, that right there, if this was your first ad, would have been a perfectly timed ad. But any credit it might have gotten for its fine timing has been erased. It's still paying back the debt you've accrued for the first 4 ads. That's 5 ads. We've got to try to keep track. We're going to lose count probably. But let me know if you can keep track in the comments, please, because we're at 5 ads. We're less than 7 minutes in.
Motherfucker. Never responded. Yeah, that's right. I know. Do you guys know what the Turner Diaries are?
No!
Oh, you gotta Google it. Google it. Google.
You know what? I mean, how often do they call for us to actually Google it? What are the Turner Diaries? Question mark. The Turner Diaries is a 1978 dystopian novel written by William Luther Pierce, founder of the white nationalist group, the National Alliance, under the pseudonym Andrew MacDonald. Okay? Okay? I mean, Luther Pierce is just such a good author name. Anyway, seems like a piece of shit. Whatever. This book is widely considered a foundational text of white supremacy, often described as a, quote, Bible of the racist right, or a, quote, blueprint for a violent race war in the United States. It has been linked to numerous acts of domestic terrorism, most notably the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. Holy shit. What a unique joke. That's kind of funny, where we had to go find it on our own. It wouldn't have been funny if you had explained what it was, but us having, like, I feel like that joke catered to us perfectly.
Google it and imagine it as a musical.
Pretty good.
And then let me know what starts popping up on your algorithm.
It's not how Google works, I hope, but that's fine. Oh, shit, I do get Google News. Oh, no.
All right. Before we get started, I would like to... I haven't started. I haven't started yet. This is not... I haven't started. This will not count against your time, but... So before I get started, I would like to sing a song, if that's okay. All right? Thank you. It's, I didn't write the words, I just put the words to music, but it's a relatively new song. It's only a couple months old, and it's an American song, and it is dedicated to the ladies out there. Yeah. Again, I didn't write I just put the words to music. Okay.
Do you want to guess what this song's theme is? I think probably satirized misogyny. Let's hear him out. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
Women!
Good start.
You will no longer be abandoned. You will no longer be lonely or scared. You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women will be happy. Women will be healthy, confident, and free. And you will no longer be thinking about abortion. You will be protected, whether you like it or not.
Please like and subscribe, goddammit.
Now again, I did not write the words.
You will be protected whether you like it or not. Okay, it was like a my body, my choice thing. The dice don't seem to like that joke.
You know who wrote those words? Do you know? The late Donald Trump. That's right. Someday we'll be
Clip
able to
that
say
shit.
that.
Somebody clip that. That ended up going really well. When I started throwing the chord progression in there, we have to cover that sometime. David, if you only knew. God damn you, David. Why do you do this to us, man? You keep winning my heart and then just cracking it a little more. What are you trying to find in there, David? It's just love.
So this is from a speech he gave. I think it was about 12 days before the election. It was from a rally in Michigan.
Woo!
And
America's high five, baby.
And it was very effective. Worked out pretty well. And this is 100% verbatim. This is 100% verbatim.
Sick.
And it's also 110% insane.
Okay. Yeah, so I won't lie. First of all, let's go back real quick because he did subvert my expectation. I figured it was going to be something that was like, this is for all the women out there. Women, you ain't nothing but your asses. You know what I mean? Like something, again, that's intentionally really on the nose, misogynistic. Wasn't expecting a direct quote from the current president of the United States, so points.
This is nonsense. This is...
Speaking of points, I do intend to devise some sort of system. Because before I was just kind of like, I don't know, fucking 6.5. Like, I liked it slightly more than the last one I saw. It's a 7. Like, I didn't have any criteria. But I want to, with your help, please, come up with a list of things that I believe make a quality special. Maybe source some things online for how other people, other comedy critics or whatever do it, and then I'll kind of borrow from them and add my own. Because it's a score to govern how much I enjoyed it, how good I found it. I don't claim to have any authority to be like, it's bad. If you like it, you're bad. Not at least when it comes to stand-up comedy. But I do want to have some criteria to, like, score them. And this is specifically because, let's get a little drum roll. It's because in the next 3 episodes, I'm going to cover maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I'm going to get to the bottom of this pesky question of who has the worst comedy special. Who are going to be our contestants, you're asking? Well, I tell you, we're going to have Tony Hinchcliffe's One Shot, the special that he pretends doesn't exist. We're doing One Shot, baby. We're doing Gringo Poppy, one of the classicists, and what I think is probably the technical worst special. We'll have to go off our criteria, because we're not just going to be following our feelings here. Am I right? What are we? The new right? So we're not just going to be going off our gut instincts and feelings and primal reactions to things. We're going to be cold, calculated, and we're also going to be covering, we're doing One Shot, we're doing Gringo Poppy, we're doing Burn the Boats, and then, to tie it all in, maybe not in any particular order, but at some point to tie it all together, we're doing, let me hear it, David Camp, Brian Callen's False Gods. It should be a good one. I look forward to figuring out who has the worst special by the standards of CTE Criticaleaks. I know it's kind of a stretch, but acronyms are a form of expression or whatever he said earlier.
This is gobbledygook garbage. What?
It's gobbledygook, by the way. It's spelled gook, but those are 2 different things, my man.
This is what? This is insane. This is crazy. I'll just read it to you, so, not the silly song part, so you can get an idea of what he said. And think about it. Women, you will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared. I'm sorry, lonely? Lonely? You'll no longer be lonely. You'll no longer be, you'll no longer be, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean to him? How does that make sense? You will know. Yeah. For 8 years when Obama was president, I had no friends. I was very lonely. I had no friends. I didn't get laid, not once. I just sit at home every night. Me and all my cats. No friends. But then Donald Trump was elected. And all of a sudden, I had all these friends. It was great. I had all these friends, and I was getting laid constantly. And oh, it was amazing. And all the cats left. They all just left. And then Joe Biden stole the election. And all my friends left. And all the cats came back. They all...
TurboTax location.
Fuck you, David Cross. Come on, man. We were doing something cool there. We were jamming, bro. Fucking jazz, man. Come on. That is not very yes and of you, David. I'll say this. I'll say it. All these commercials, it's a real no butt. Not even a no butt, that's just a no.
You'll no longer be lonely. All right. More scared. You'll be protected, and I will be your protector. Now listen. Everybody has different ways of protecting their women folk, right? And let me tell you how I, Donald J. Trump, an adjudicated rapist, protects his ladies, all right? This is how I protect my women. What I'm going to do, ladies, is I am going to grab you right by the... Oh, I'm going to grab you right by that... And I'm going to lock on, okay? Nothing's getting in there, madam. Nothing.
We're bleeping pussy now? It just feels weird, doesn't it? Like, okay. By the way, Google it. Pussy has nothing to do with like the term, like the phrase, like, oh, you pussy. It's short for pusillanimous. Fucking Google it. I know it sounds like an eek's lie. It's like a jippo's lie, but it's not.
If I have to plug that hole up with my own, I will. I will.
That was mushroom dick was the... I heard you say the N-word earlier today. You're bleeping pussy? And mushroom dick? What the fuck?
Women...
Now it is in yellow font when it pops up, like what they were saying, the sort of like bleeped subtitles. And I think that's kind of an 800-pound Guerrilla Media thing. Yeah, see, like they're like purple and yellow or whatever. What the fuck is YMH Studios doing here? Why are they in a collab too? Probably, if I'm looking at the numbers here, David Cross has 6.16K subscribers. 10 times that amount, 800-pound Guerrilla Media has 641,000 subscribers. More than twice that, YMH Studios has 2.15 million subscribers. So it seems to me that Tom Segura, founder of YMH Your Mom's House Studios, Tom Segura, comedian, was sort of doing David Cross a solid by this collab. Or with, rather, this collab. Holy fuck. You can buy this in the description, by the way. There's a link to purchase this for $10. What the fuck? You want to talk about out of touch, man. I barely have the time to watch this shit, much less the money. Are you fucking... I mean, don't get me wrong. I have the money. But not for comedy. Not like this.
Will be happy.
Okay. So the description down here says, and this was written by David, it says love David at the end. So, in the end of the beginning of the end, David Cross returns to the stage with the ferocity, absurdity, and razor-sharp wit that have made him one of comedy's most uncompromising and fearless voices. Bitch, you bleeped pussy. What are you talking about? Fearless voices. Filmed in Athens, Georgia, at the historic 40 Watt, Cross tackles the chaos of modern America head-on, skewering authoritarian politics, reproductive rights rollbacks, fine alliteration, religious extremism, late-stage capitalism, and the uniquely American obsession with hoarding sneakers. Cross meticulously blends wicked satire with gleeful discomfort. Equal parts biting political commentary and a masterclass in long-form storytelling. We'll see. The beginning of the end finds Cross at his most furious. Okay, first of all, let's talk long-term storytelling here. You've used the word fearless twice to describe yourself, which is crazy, bro. I believe you also used ferocity. Ferocity. So ferocious versus furious. Fine. Philosophical, filthy, and very, very funny. Also, this whole thing was written by some of the cheapest AI available. If interested for yourself, please contact Raj McIntish at AI for Everyone, located next to the pet store in Fairhaven, Florida. Love, David. Oh, here we go. This version of David's special has been censored. If you'd like the full uncensored version, head over to David's website or 800-pound Gorilla Media. Bunch of non after that. But, you know it's not non. Halfway through the show today, we're going to be doing a reading of Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography. We just got to chapter 2. It's taken us like 6 months.
Healthy, confident, and free. Oh, ladies, the freedoms you are going to enjoy. How would you like the freedom to bleed out in a hospital waiting room while you're denied treatment that any other sane, rational society would accord you? Yeah.
Okay, man, but I've known some people who grew up in places where there was universalized medicine or whatever, and it's a little more of a horror story than you're picturing.
Free. Would you like to be raped with impunity by your white Christian nationalist husband?
Oh, look, we got a whole bunch of spammers here. See all this money? You're never gonna get this. You're never gonna get this cash. Ooh, I could buy your whole business, scammers. I swear to God, I could be a king scammer, but I ain't gonna do it. You never gonna. Tastes like success and lies.
Free. And here's the best part, ladies. You elect me, and you did. And you will. Here's the Donald J. Trump promise. You will no longer be thinking about abortion. All right? Why would you? I've taken the option off the table. Don't worry about it. You do not have to worry your pretty little heads with, well, am I going to have or not? No.
I guess this is a little bit the problem. I don't know, with getting political at all. First of all, hi. Self-described and proud centrist over here. I don't owe my allegiance to anyone. I think that people who just choose sides arbitrarily and blindly follow that side are categorically stupid. But whatever. That's your bag. That's your bag. I fucking don't care. Judge your religion or your terrible taste in things. But I will say this. It's a little weird. When you use so much hyperbole to demonize the guy that you think is the worst, you kind of ruin the credibility of everyone on your side. It's what is it, disinformation, where it's like almost intentionally putting out falsified info so you stop believing what you read. You're doing that on accident. But when you say things like you can R-word, where you can be R-worded with impunity from your white nationalist husband, it's just like, It's hyperbolic, and it does unfortunately really affect for people who don't have a dog in this fight. I mean, we have a dog, we just didn't choose what team to put this metaphor has gone way off the rails. But for those of us that don't, just we're just trying to hear you out. I'm just listening, okay, yeah, well, what are your political points? This is how you learn, right? Listening to people talk about it or whatever. And for you to be like, the adjudicated rapist thing from earlier, all right, I think that's technically, verifiable, so sure. But they're if you're a woman, then you can get R-worded with impunity from your white nationalist husband. It's oh, okay, so you're kind of doing the thing. It wasn't even really a joke. It was just, an exaggeration.
You're going to have that baby, all right? Now you can free up that space in your head to do a little Sudoku or whatever it is you ladies do. You will be protected whether you like it or not. And that might be the single most Trumpian line in the whole thing. Because here's the thing, you will be protected. That's good. You want to hear that from your presidential candidate. Yeah, I'm going to protect you. You will be protected. That's good. That's a good thing. But I imagine he was like, okay, you will be protected. You will be protected. That makes sense. How can I trump it up? How can I put my spin on it? Oh, a threat. I'll make it a threat. There you go. And how?
He's some really interesting pacing, which to me demonstrates an adept hand. I would say expertise. Because usually once a guy starts getting into his rhythm, I can kind of like predict it a little more, and I'll resolve the melody as their joke kind of lands. You know, peek up the kilt here. But with David, more than once, I've kind of done like a... like, you know, I was expecting for it to resolve far sooner than it did, and I think that helps organically contribute to the subversion of expectation these guys are, you know, to the dragon that is subversion of expectation that these guys are always chasing around.
Utterly useless, feckless, and absolutely out of touch.
Feckless? Bro, you don't hear feckless thrown around a lot. That's the new F word.
Are the Democrats that they couldn't beat this. How fucking less than useless. They're
Alright, safe take.
actually a detriment. The Democrats, what a bunch of... Oh, man.
Okay. Yeah, it seems... I mean, that's a pretty centrist declaration. So, he's on my side.
The Democrats are like when you go to the dog park, right? And all the dogs are running around, right? And they're just...
Join Planet Fitness for one.
I have a couple of things I'd like to bring up. The sound, the fact that commercials, don't get me wrong, they dime up the compression quite a bit on commercials, so they're always slightly, or at best, slightly louder than, you know, like say you're watching TV, your show, it's going to be right here at a listenable volume. The commercials will be right here at a slightly more than listenable volume, right? But you can tell a lot about the sound production or the sound quality of a production by the way it compares to the commercials. You want it to be a little more normal than that. Commercials are the exclamation point, but you know, you want to be the period. You don't want to be in ellipses. You don't want to be quiet. See, punctuation holds up. You want to be just under where those commercials are coming in. And as you could hear on that last one, they are way louder than this special. So let's check the credits here, see who to blame. Doesn't say it was directed by anyone. I don't see any credits. So probably at the end. We'll roast them at the end here. But it's a little quiet, gang.
Dogs, they're doing what dogs do. They're barking and they're showing their teeth and they're running around, they're shitting on everything, tearing stuff up, humping underage dogs. And,
okay.
You know. And then there's like a dog who's particularly rambunctious and destructive, and then the Democrats are like the person going like, Apollo, stop it. Stop it, Apollo, that's not how we act. I'm gonna have to punish you. Apollo, don't do that. That's not, I'm sorry. And the Republicans are the dogs. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a distinctly centrist sentiment. So, hyperbole aside.
Okay, now we can start. All right. Yeah.
I gotta say, podcasting made us all so sick of that fucking joke. Right? Am I right? Like, how many times have you heard someone show up and like, oh, are we starting? Oh, we're just jumping right in, huh? oh yeah, that's how we do it here. We just go right in, raw dog it. It's like, fuck off. We've heard it so many times. In 2016, it was a tired joke. Oh wow, you just jumped right. Okay, now we can start. We've been recording for 20 minutes. Expectation is subverted.
So as I said, I live in Brooklyn, and there's not too much I miss about the East Village, but there's one thing that we used to have dozens of them in my neighborhood, and they were great, and we don't have any in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, but the super cheap Chinese massage places, you know? The ones where it's like $50 an hour, and you go in, and it's just a bunch of middle-aged Chinese ladies, and you go, it's $50 an hour, it's great, and then you go, there's no ambiance, right? You just lay on the table, and they just beat the shit out of you, right? They do elbows and fists, and they just beat the shit out of you, and they don't know what they're doing, you know? But no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's what you want. That's what you want. Because you walk out and it feels great, you know, and it's really the exact opposite of, you know, those, you know, day spas and wellness centers and all that. We have a couple of those in my neighborhood, and those are like 3 times as much money. It's not as good a massage, and it's always uncomfortable from right when you walk in. You know, you walk in, it's like it's quiet, right? And it's like a purpley lighting, and you walk in, you're like, hi. Is it okay for my words to pierce the air? You know, and then they give you a bunch of forms to fill out. Right? They don't do that at the Chinese. They don't give a shit. They give you like 5 forms you gotta fill out to get a fucking massage. And then when you're filling out the forms, you gotta listen to their new age nature sounds that are playing, you know, and it's like just there's like a burbling brook and a pan flute.
Unpopular take. This sounds delightful, David. We really doing when you check your massage privilege, bro. Point of privilege.
And a zither. And like when you wet your fingertips and rub them on the top of a...
This reminds me of, again, I've been pulled back into YouTube Shorts and YouTube Live. I allowed myself to go there a little bit, and the addiction took over. Now I'm just like, every time my fiance gets up to leave the room, I'm just like, okay, wow, that's crazy. Wow, more comedy stuff. Oh, Nick Mullen was on a podcast 6 years ago and said something kind of funny. Anyway, and you get the ASMR live streamers. And, you know, far be it from me to yuck anybody's yums, but that shit's fucking weird. Beyond it being weird, I'm particularly, like, sensitive to sounds. Like, I'm one of those people that podcasters are cautious about when they don't eat on the microphone, because I will quit it forever. I will say some terrible, terrible things I'll regret in a day or two, but I'll say them and I'll leave them up there, and I will stop listening forever, because those sounds bother the shit out of me. So ASMR is just those sounds with a microphone put up to them. It's like I don't really fuck with that. If you do, again, I'm not like judging you. I'm just judging that you like it.
Wine glass and the sound of snow falling. How did they capture that? I don't know, but they did. And then, is that a she-wolf I hear in the distance?
Is that a she-wolf I hear in the distance? Okay, so he is a master of obscurity. When he says something that's supposed to be so off the wall, it's funny. Like, he's good at it. Is that a she-wolf I hear in the distance? It's a throwaway line, as we'd call it in long-form storytelling. It's a throwaway, but he does a fantastic job of capitalizing on it, just like you would in long-form storytelling. A good throwaway line provides some kind of implied mythology or a little bit of exposition in some way, like, so-and-so could charm the stank off of Maquilamander. It's like, oh, Maquilamander is a creature in this world, and we know that it's stinky. Okay, like, but it's a throwaway line. You don't, it's not narratively crucial, but it helps build the greater piece. And his throwaway lines in this comedy special, they do that. They're adding to it the she-wolf thing, because that, again, as far as immersion is concerned, that trains my brain to go like, all right, I can trust David in those moments of like throwaway lines to throw something good out at us. Props, Mr. Cross.
This sounds, I imagine a Native American hears when they're coming,
That was uncompromising and fearless, if I do say so myself. You bleeped mushroom dick, but not the C word? Bruh.
And
I'm sorry, bruv.
And then there'll be a diploma on the wall,
Excuse
right?
me.
A diploma?
By the way, if you're down to help me take this over, let me see a bruv in the comments. Let's go. We're stealing it from the Brits. Call it revenge or something.
From what, the University of Massachusetts? I mean, it's fucking leave. Get out and go to the Chinese places. They're great. And another thing, the cheapy Chinese.
Not too well, actually, but actually, yeah, right? Aren't they certified? I mean, I've been to a lot of hippie festivals. Believe it or not. Stay your shock and awe. I've been to a lot of hippie festivals, and I've been super hungover at many of them. And more than one time, I've gone walking past a tent where there is a let's say matronly hippie lass, and they're doing like massages, $1 a minute or whatever. It's probably $2 now. Inflation. Thanks a lot, Obama. They'll be sitting in there, so they'll do massages for $1 a minute. So I'm like, hell yeah, man, here's a cool 20. Like, let's make this happen. And they are so frequently the worst, most impotent, weak-thumbed massages you've ever gotten in your life. And if one of those bitches had a male or female or non-binary bitches had a certification up there, I would have paid $1.50.
Places will do is they'll pull your underwear down about halfway, right? Yeah, they'll work on that top half of your ass. Why not? That's.
At this point, you're probably not.
At this point, we're probably not going to be able to get through the whole special, to be honest. I'm trying to keep these at a cool 3 hours. I know short form content's popular, so I try to keep it timely. So I am certain we won't get through this whole thing. Go buy it on David's website. Go watch it with 1,000 ads on 800-pound Gorilla Media. However it is you wish to consume it in full. We will be going to the 3-hour mark, as I said. However, now it's time for a reading of the autobiography written by Corey Feldman. Choreography. When last we met, we were getting to know Corey's mother. Bit of a wild card, that one. She had some crazy mood swings and mental health stuff that would see her lying in bed for days on end. And, in a very not funny turn, she was, after Corey Feldman started getting work at like 3, his mom stopped letting him eat whenever he wanted to because he had to stay in stage shape. There's nothing funny about that. I don't know why I'm smiling. It's not funny. It's humire, right? I've introduced that term. Humire is a coin termed by a road dog and I, and it's something that's funny because it's not. Something that's so not funny, it's funny. I don't know. Humire. I-R-E. You heard it here first, folks. Chapter 2. People have always noticed my voice. It's low and raspy. Even as a child, I was often mistaken for someone much older than my actual age. By my mid-teens, once I had become well known within the industry, directors would know I was on the set just by the sound of my gravelly voice echoing down the hallway. But years before that, on a spring day when I was still just 5 years old, my mother schlepped me to Disney headquarters in Burbank because my sister, the Mouseketeer, had to work. As I entertained myself in Mindy's dressing room, playing imaginary games with my superheroes, and a casting director happened to walk by. Expecting to find an elderly woman with a smoking problem, she was shocked when she turned the corner. It was just little old me. What I didn't know at the time was that the studio had just finished a major casting call and had all but given up trying to find a child who could emulate the voice of a young hound dog for the next animated feature. After several weeks of debate and a series of callbacks, the decision was made. Walt Disney Productions had found their Copper. He voiced Copper from The Fox and the Hound? Are you serious? That's so sad. The Fox and the Hound would become the final classic of Disney's early animation era, and it marked my transition to working on the big screen, though it would be another few years before I'd make it back. When I got the part, I was taken on a tour of the animation building and shown artwork for my character, a droopy-eyed, long-eared pup and his unlikely friend. "I want to meet the kid who plays the fox," I said. I recognized Keith Coogan from auditions. He was the grandson of screen legend Jackie Coogan and would later star in Don't Tell My Mom the Babysitter's Dead. "You won't be meeting him," the casting director told me. "Voiceover work is done separately." Any visions I had of Keith and I bringing our characters to life, side by side, were dashed, and I was reminded again of the strangeness of Hollywood. This time, I wouldn't so much as meet my co-star. This has been a reading of the autobiography written by Corey Feldman. Choreography. Let's get back to David Cross.
Care as well.
I forgot the reggae music. I realized it about halfway through and was like, you know what? This is special. This particular time, no reggae.
Well, you know, they weren't brought up in a puritanical society. They're not getting erotically charged by the top half of my hairy ass. They don't care. It's fine.
That's what you think.
And anyway, the reason I'm telling you all this is because recently one of those cheapy Chinese massage places opened up on my street. Literally on my street, about 2.5 blocks down. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get a massage. And I went and I walk in, and again, no ambience, just like, you know, a shitty couch, a little desk, a couple metal fold-out chairs, and the only decoration they had was a case of water from Costco. It was on the floor, and they hadn't even cut into it. It was just somebody poked their finger and wrenching all the bottles through the.
Okay, I mean, talk about good storytelling. That's the kind of detail that we didn't know was going to paint such a distinct picture. The difference between like cutting open the water bottle or just like jamming your hand in, which most of us probably do.
And I go.
It's like a uniquely good feeling.
In and I, you know, go to get a massage and you know, hard, medium, soft, hard.
Okay, I want to double back because you don't ever see this, but in the case of ASMR, if it was the sound of people stepping on very thin ice, that little like small shatter crunch sound, I'd listen to that all day long. So I need to walk back my misunderstanding of ASMR. It's just the sounds they tend to use. It's not ice lightly crunching. It's like some Asian chick dragging her nails on a high sensitivity microphone and going like. It's, now that I'm saying it out loud, pretty fucking awesome.
You know, and they've got the hot stones and the oil. I'm like, yeah, just listen. I don't know what you and your family had to endure to get to this country only to be treated like shit. But take it out right there, right in the lower back. That's where I want you to focus that anchor.
It's hilarious. The assumption. You're an immigrant. Must have been a hard life, huh? What about people that just like save up money and then move here? I guess because China. Okay, benefit of the doubt, it's probably because they're coming from China. We know very little about what goes on there, so maybe that's what he's talking about.
And so I went. It was great. As I said, $50 an hour. You walk out there and feel great. And then I got work on this project, and I had to go away for a little bit. And I went away and worked. And then when I came back, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to the massage place, get a massage." So I went back up there. Different lady. Same case of water. Yeah, so there's a different lady. I go, I'd like to get a massage, and I go into the room, and I take my clothes off, except for my underwear, fold them up, put them on a little chair, lay down on that massage table, face through the little donut hole pillow thing. A couple minutes later, yeah, coming in. Okay, hard, medium, soft, hard, go hard, it's fine. And she starts giving me a massage, and it's great. Right? Elbows and then after about 5 minutes, she goes to pull my underwear down a little bit, and she takes my underwear completely off. And
You're not just moving, you're moving.
Again, I'll start to get... Okay, what is this? A masterclass in long-form storytelling broken up every minute and a half by some completely irrelevant advertisement? Yeah, what a fucking masterclass, bro. No. This masterclass you need to spend $10 on to get, or you have to listen to like the shitty version of it. So, but I mean, it's got 112,000 views in 3 days, so comparable to my numbers.
That's
in that their numbers.
That's never happened before. And I can hear her. I'm laid down. I can hear her folding up the underwear and putting it on my chair. But as she's doing that, my face through the pillow.
Okay, but this strains credulity a little bit. So she pulled your underwear all the way down and then like off your legs, and you did the little like foot kick thing to get them around. Like, excuse me, Woodruff.
Pillow is through the pillow is
Oh, his face through the pillow. He's kind of doing like a...
But then I was okay. That was all right. I mean, it's if she's not weird, I'm not going to be weird. That's fine.
I bet. Well, I mean, yeah, the stranger just took off my underwear, but like, I wouldn't want to like be weird if she's not being weird. Yeah, I bet that was your first thought.
Fine, whatever. It's her. I'm not gonna.
Here's what I hope he's doing. I hope he's trying to build our expectations to think that this is some kind of like misguided Eric Andre accidental massage handjob thing. He's trying to make us think that's where he's going, and then he's going to subvert our expectations and either bring it back to something from before, which would be pretty masterful as far as long-form storytelling is concerned, to double back and to reincorporate the first parts of your act into contemporary, kind of keep us reminded that there's a theme and this isn't just a list of funny thoughts or things that happened to you. I hope he's doing that. Worst case scenario, he's like, and then she flipped me over and dunk, like, let's see. I don't think that's what he's going to do. He's earned my benefit of the doubt here. Let's find out.
Make a big deal out of it, try to make her uncomfortable or whatever. I'm not going to jump up and be like, Madam, please!
He's a never nude!
I want a Christian massage!
Yeah.
So, she continues, and as I said, I got the hot stone stomach, and she's going to town and everything, and she's like, really getting in there, and she's got kind of like this motion going on the crack of my ass, kind of this kind of thing going, like when you see an old Western and there's a guy at the saloon and he's like, "Hey, Cookie, why don't you dance us a jig?" And then an old coot, with like this kind of beard and a floppy hat gets up and, "Oh,
Pretty sure I saw it on like one of your sketches.
That was the
It's doing this.
motion she had going on. And so she's going to town, but the thing is, because of the way I was laying down and the resulting action of taking my underwear off, now the
Head of my dick, it said.
and a good chunk of
And balls.
were exposed, right? And she never misses a beat. She just keeps going and doing all this stuff, but occasionally her well-oiled fingertips. Right.
See, that's what him being like, right, is he's allowing us to assume, and I think that's because he's about to subvert us good.
On the
head of his dick.
And it's a very pleasant sensation. It really is. It's just like three ladybugs just sort of landing and taking off again and landing back and like, oh, let's go somewhere else. Like, oh, forgot my phone, whatever. And because it's a pleasant sensation, and because of the way a gentleman's body works, I started to get hard.
Okay. I mean, this will be on the list of CTE criteria. If they have the concentration of ads is higher than 1 per 7 minutes, it's going to cost him a point. It has to. Okay. All of that is only true, however, if they themselves put out the special. I've said it before. I don't know if we can give them that pass anymore. Like, they know what they're doing because they're also, like, I think it's more likely because they're getting paid half of whatever 800-pound Gorilla Media is making, or 40% or whatever. And so more ads means obviously more money, and they need more money because they're splitting it with 800-pound Gorilla Media. Because frankly, if Cross would have put it out on his YouTube, his fans might see it, but they're probably already aware of it, and it's a relatively niche audience when you consider that YMH Studios is 2 million. So I don't think the collab scores them any points anymore. I think that's why we put it at the 7-minute mark, because 800-pound Gorilla Media needs to get they cheddar, right? It's an 800-pound monkey. It needs to get it. They need to be paid, right? It's itching right here. So, it's kind of the nature of the beast. You're in the industry of comedy, so every 7 minutes is understandable. Every 5 minutes, no point awarded, no point deducted. Any more frequent than 5 minutes costs them a point. We remove a point. And we'll just build our whole list of criteria that way. And then we'll have it going forward. And if I want to start scoring things, I can do it in a way that's not just 5 bags of pop. I hated this movie. 5 bags of popcorn.
I started to get
I think he knows Tim Heidecker.
hard.
He was never in On Cinema, I don't think. But was he like part of the Tim and Eric's crew? Let me know if you're into those irreverent sketch comedy shows.
And I was horrified. I was embarrassed. I was like, I was sweating. I was very anxious. And here's the bitter irony of this situation. In fact, I'm going to say bittersweet irony is that the more there is for to feel,
The dick.
the more there is to feel. Right.
There is to feel.
Can't stop it. I'm trying, but I can't. It's not. It's just like a shy turtle getting its confidence up, you know?
Oh, man. This kid. This dude who looks younger than me in the face for sure, but he's got a gray ponytail pulled all the way back, not popped up on the top of his head like Cindy Lou Who. Pulled all the way back. Gray ponytail. Wearing a Green Day American Idiot shirt. Bro is an archetype. And his friend is his friend sitting next to him is a rather ample gentleman, is what I picture the archetypical David Cross fan to look like. They got all that ad money. They can.
What's going on out there?
Calling people ample is hilarious too.
What's all the hullabaloo? And I feel fucking awful, and I'm like, I'm trying to reverse this situation because, I know what's coming up. I know when, whatever, 7, 8, 9 minutes or so, they're gonna, and thank God they hold that towel up, but they're gonna do the, okay, turn over for the other part of the massage. I know that's coming up, so I'm just sitting there trying to reverse the situation. I'm looking through the pillow at the filthy floor, just trying to conjure up anything that's awful, like, just, okay, 2 girls, 1 cup. And my mom. Throw my mom in there. Let's see if that helps. That doesn't help. It's not strong enough. And just like I said, a couple minutes goes by. Okay, turn over, and again, thank God they hold that towel up. So I turn over and there's no towel. And I am not exaggerating when I tell you that this was one of the top 3 hard-ons I've ever had in my life. I did not fucking recognize it. I was like, whoa, that's not my dick. That is not my dick. I don't know where that came from. That's not mine. I mean, I was proud of it. I wanted to shake its hand, send it off to university, but I was like, what's going on? And it's just going nuts, and it's like Mussolini on the balcony.
Jenny, we need you to build.
He's doing. Man, I've lost count. 8, I think. Let's say 8 in less than half an hour. That's too many.
And
are these people fucking standing?
everything I'm telling you took seconds. This is mere seconds, right? I'm over there. I roll over, and then
a bit of a time dilation. Classic long-form storytelling.
she comes around to have me scoot down, push the little pillow down, and when she's over there, she goes like this to my beard. She goes, "So white." I don't know, and I don't know what that means. And I didn't really have time to think about it because she started to give me a hand job. And I know that I have to put a stop to this.
He did what I was hoping he was not going to do, which is just build up to like a. I mean, this kind of a big Jay Okerson story, kind of a Louis J. Gomez, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that that's bad, of course, but it's just very, like, we all saw that coming. As soon as he started saying massage parlors, if you didn't immediately go, this is a hand job story, then you don't watch a lot of comedy podcasts, because this shit comes up once a month on every show. He knows he's supposed to tell her to stop, but
there's no reason to be rash. I don't need to. I don't want to scare her, jump up, you know. So when she starts giving me a hand job, my brain starts doing two things.
Again, it's so funny you have to bleep dick, but you can say hand job
Simultaneously.
Like, that definitely raises more questions. Like, first of all, who's that for? Like, God-fearing adults? No, I think you edit and censor things for kids, right? If you're an adult and the word dick offends you, I guess be off the computer now. Like, that's crazy. Go be honest. They feel the same way. So it's for kids, right? But then the word hand job, if they're too young to hear the word dick, then the word hand job's probably going to raise some questions the parents want to answer way less than, like, oh, no, you can't say dick, it's a bad word. It's just like, I don't know. It's inconsistent censoring, I guess we'll call it.
One part of my brain is going, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this. Because I have been completely faithful to my wife, and I have
so for that one time,
not had a stranger's hand on my dick since, I mean, at least the honeymoon. I can go back to that.
Okay. Now, if there had been a story about the honeymoon and something crazy happening, then that would be masterful long-form storytelling. But unfortunately, we're halfway through the story and there is no through line at all except David Quirky.
And then the other part of my brain is furiously trying to think of any justification to allow this to continue a couple more seconds longer. And all I can come up with is, it's a hand job. I mean, who cares? Come on. I mean, it's the most innocuous.
This is the Louis J. Gomez point. I'm almost positive. Because when I hear it, I get Gomesian vibes. It's the classic, like, oh, it's a hand job. It's like a scratch from the back. It's like blah, 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 blah. Like, this is the problem. Again, I've used the word out of touch a few times. Hate to do it to a guy like David, but, like, this does come off wildly out of touch because he's not connected in these stand-up comedy circles and because he's not listening to the material they're putting out or the podcasts that they're doing. Then he doesn't realize that, like, what he's saying right now is so played out. It's a thought that, like, all of them have had, and then all of them have a bit about. It might make your primarily leftist fan base kind of like, oh, what? I doubt that, though, because literally all of them, Stavros, like, so Stavros, as Sly Char would call him, Stavros Halkias. Another great example of, like, if you hear him say massage, you're probably about to hear a story about an HJ. So anyway, David Cross is saying, it's a hair job. It's not that big a deal.
Who cares? Come on. I mean, it's the most innocuous utilitarian sex act there is. It's nothing. It's the...
I've never heard someone refer to it as a utilitarian sex act before. I like clever phrasing. I'm here for that. It's not masterful long-form storytelling, but hey. Which, by the way, he wrote himself. I'd still be giving him shit for it. But I wouldn't be focusing very heavily. I almost fucking fell. I wouldn't be focusing very, very heavily on it if he himself was not the one that was like, let's bring up the quote here. Cross returns to the stage with a ferocity, absurdity, and razor-sharp wit that have made him one of comedy's most uncompromising and fearless voices. He wrote that. Later, it goes on to say, Cross tackles the chaos of modern America head on, skewering authoritarian politics, reproductive rights rollbacks, religious extremism, late-stage capitalism, and uniquely American obsession with hoarding sneakers. Where does he say it? Equal parts biting political commentary. I guess. He did say grab him by the pussy. So, sure. Equal parts biting political commentary, and masterclass in long-form storytelling. And the thing is like, he threw this line in at the end, you know. It was written by the cheapest AI available. If you're interested, go to that one spot in Florida, blah, 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 which I think gives him the license in his mind to be like, clearly I wasn't being serious. But I think that's a cop-out. I think that you were trying to write something that sounded good, but also you wanted it to be personal at the end, and you didn't realize that those two things kind of conflict. Because it doesn't sound good if we know it's you describing yourself that way. And that's coming from me, bruv.
Macaroni and cheese sex acts, you know? Sure, I'll have some Kraft macaroni and cheese if that's all you got. I probably prefer almost anything else on the menu, but...
Okay. I mean, fuck off. It's the best macaroni and cheese, in my opinion.
I am.
Because you can cook it yourself.
I'm hungry.
Make your noodles good instead of mush, because everyone overcooks their noodles. If you're hearing this and you think I'm wrong, you like mush noodles.
It's nothing. There's no
I'm an El Dante, man.
Emotional connection, right? You know, if you got an Apple Watch, you can give a hand job and just be like... That's a
He's just doing this, and he's looking at his Apple Watch, I guess.
funny meme.
I guess it would be like on the other hand, though, if it's like, right?
You know, it's nothing. That's a funny meme. You know.
No, I don't. I have no idea, but maybe I'm the goose on that one.
It's nothing. Nothing going on. And look, if the situation was reversed, and my wife...
See, that right there is how you know we're good faith around here. Because if someone says, do you know what I mean? And I don't know what they mean, I assume it's on me, usually. Especially after looking back. There have been a couple of jokes. I think it happened with Sere a few times. Where he was like making a joke that I had lost track of. And so when I got done, he was like, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, it's crazy. It's nonsense. And it wasn't nonsense. I just missed the joke. So again, good faith. I'll assume that what he's saying makes sense, and I'm the problem here.
You know, had gone to get a massage, and halfway through the massage, the masseuse started going like...
Going back.
Had gone to get him first. It's nothing. Nothing going on. And look, if the situation was reversed, and my wife, you know, had gone to get a massage, and halfway through the massage, the masseuse started going like...
Okay.
Be like, great, that's fine, good for you. That's a little bonus. Nice.
Better not let the Akash haters hear about this, bro.
No, I'm not upset. Of course not.
It'll be in your comment going, don't feel bad for Akash. Every chair in the chair in every hotel is named after him. It's like the cuck chair. I've been following him on, that's how, you know, where I got that bit from when I opened the show. Because I follow him on, I've subscribed to him on YouTube, and so I see his shorts often. And I like to check the comments, kind of get a pulse. It's mostly Akash fans. And then the occasional person who will be like, don't take marriage advice from this guy of all people. And then like a bunch of his fans going, what do you mean? Which just kind of goes to show, like, it's such exaggeration to be like, his career is fucking over. Akash finally reached a new low. Podcast Cringe showed some rare self-awareness, though, where in a video recently, he kind of talked about his clickbait-esque titles, Which, you know, if you make a joke about how your story is bad, you keep telling a bad story, it doesn't redeem the story itself. It's just, I guess, self-awareness to let us know that you don't care enough to make it better?
No. Did you come? Okay, good then. No, honey, I'd be upset if you didn't come. Oh, I would march right down to that massage. I'd be like, which one of you inconsiderate, lazy fucks finger banged my wife and didn't bring her to climax? That's what I would do. That's what I would do, because I'm a good husband, okay? Also,
Asana helps you.
I mean, just every time I go to settle into this, it's definitely a problem fairly unique to 800-pound gorilla media, because even Sam Talent, I think it was, I don't want to, I gotta be careful, because if I'm not certain it was that person, Ronan didn't do it. Ronan, I don't think, had any ads at all. I think he has the artistic integrity to be like, this is about timing, right? It's like, it's the classic joke, like, what's this? Ask me what the secret to comedy is. Timing. And you interrupt him, you say timing. But it's a classic, everyone knows that. Even me.
what's she gonna do? Divorce me? Because I got a hand job? She's gonna look like a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Explain that one to our daughter. So, I say to the woman, I go, oh, no, thank you. I mean, no, I don't need that. I don't need that part. I don't, just like stump, whatever. And she just goes like, she goes, no. I go, no. She goes, okay. Stops, puts a towel on, continues the massage, and then, 30 minutes later, it's done. Okay, you pay now. Okay, and I get up and I put my clothes on. And I come out to the little waiting room lobby area there. And now, there's a man sitting in one of the metal fold-out chairs. And I know that he knows that I just got a hand job. And I desperately want to say to him, like, oh, just for the record, I did not. I mean, she started, and I was like, no, don't, but I didn't, like, I was scared, but I just said, like, but not, there's no judgment at all. I mean, I just, you made that be, you go ahead and knock yourself out. I just, I couldn't do it because I was like, so, and you maybe too, and maybe you could work something out, because who cares? I didn't say anything, right?
I'm kind of starting to not believe this so much. I don't know.
But but I did not. I did not say anything to him. I paid and I left. But now I got a dilemma. Because it's a really good massage. I mean, you add the hand job part, it's excellent. But even without it, it's still good. But now I cannot walk in or out of that establishment. Because if I do, then people will say, hey, you know that guy from the Chipmunks movies?
Who did he play in the Chipmunks movies? Let's look up what he was in. What has David Cross been in? Holy fuck. The Mr. Show, Bob and David, which went from 95 to 98. You hear good things about it. He did the Chipmunks in 2007. He did Arrested Development in 2003. Scary Movie 2. That's right. He was the video clerk guy there. I think. Megamind. He was in Alvin and the Chipmunks again. Alvin and the Chipmunks a third time. Men in Black, as I said. He was in Kung Fu Panda. He was in Small Soldiers. Small Soldiers. Big Battles. Oh, he did a guest spot on Futurama. That's tight. The Beast with 1,000 Backs. Oh, that's right. He played Womb, or whatever the god's name was. That was sticking their little thing in everybody. He was in The Cable Guy. and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, big deal, but I guess he went with the Chipmunks movies.
The guy who stole the Chipmunks? Yeah. That's where he goes to get hand jobs. No, not the vet. Next to the vet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's got a hand job and then he stopped. And then now he doesn't know if he wants to go back.
So,
either this masterclass goes over my head or that was not good long-form storytelling. It ended in nothing! You did exactly...
Told my wife.
You did exactly what we thought you were going to do from the beginning. You made it long. You included some cool details, like the journey was, I guess, fun. But it started at 0 and it ended at 0, and it kind of bumped up to 0.5. And we gained nothing from it, except now we know you, like, soft cheated on your wife. Like, but you also hold... So, I don't know. I don't know what that's for. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing the entire act, so he probably calls back to this later, which is part of his, like, claim that this is a masterclass in long-form storytelling. Again, we're halfway through it, more than halfway through it, and there hasn't even been a callback yet, which is, like, one of the easiest forms of making these long-form stories cohesive. Bold claim, my man.
What happened, and she did not respond in the way I expected her to.
Go back.
Told my wife, what happened, and she did not respond in the way I expected her to.
Do you mean to say she subverted your expectations?
My wife has a very good sense of humor, is very funny, and
clearly
very progressive. And I thought she would find the humor in it. She did not find the humor in it. I told her what happened, and she said, and I quote, "Well, you know you can't go back there again." I'm like, honey, I don't have... Okay. Okay, what about this? What if I do this? What if I do this? Seriously, what if I get a t-shirt printed up that says, "Hi, I would just like the massage part, not the hand job part. Thank you." You know, in English on the front and Mandarin on the back, just covering my bases. So last summer, my friend Bob and I went to Peru to go to Machu Picchu.
Okay.
Which I highly recommend.
I mean, with regards to this being a masterclass in long-form storytelling, there was no transition there. What, did we just open a new chapter? Okay. All right, maybe this will somehow relate to urban hand jobs.
It is a fucking awesome experience and just an amazing, stunning. Has anybody been?
I guess my advice to anyone that's a fan of somebody, like a fan of a comedian, you enjoy their podcasting a lot, you enjoy when they're on other people's podcasts, you think they're funny, you think they're charming, and you want to keep that in your little heart, don't watch their stand-up. I mean, I guess do. I mean, again, McCusker has held up great, and sometimes it's the opposite, which is best case scenario, right? Like, I don't know who the fuck Ronan Hirschberg is. He seems kind of annoying on podcasts, and then you watch his stand-up, and you're like, holy shit, okay, I get it now. Like, this dude rules. But having watched David Cross's stand-up, I can't help that it makes my opinion of him kind of like, like, and who the fuck am I? You didn't give a shit, but like, but also like, I imagine I'm not the only one, and especially because the comedy bubble burst a while back, and now like we're all just little flecks of soapy water flying aimlessly through the air, right? It's like This isn't how you make another bubble.
Yeah, all right. Did you...
Thank you, one person who applauded.
It's an amazing, stunning... Has anybody been? Yeah, all right. Did you hike the Inca Trail?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5 day?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you do the 4 day, 5 day?
No, I can't remember. It was not very long, what I did, the portion that I did. I can't remember. I was not, 18.
Okay.
We took the train down to Cusco.
Okay.
No, all right, no. It's got to be an awful feeling being called out on national television.
National television, again, a little out of touch because that is David Jolly's joke. Don't you say that to me on national television. Not a bad impression.
I got excited. You said bunch of
If you took the train, you took the train and did not hike the trail. Right.
I did, yeah.
So it's so not 4 day, 5 day, but it's really roughly an hour.
Sorry, I misspoke. Did a lot of hiking, but not that.
Okay.
Continue.
That's all right. Yeah. It's okay. All right. Don't make it worse.
Okay. Well, I would say that's sort of a problem with crowd work, but I think that was actually one of the more unique and endearing moments from this special, where he kind of was like, oh, you have, blah, 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 blah. I also, given the way he handled it, given the seemingly organic nature of this miscommunication here, / misunderstanding / lie on the part of the audience member, I think it's real. I don't think this is a plant. We've seen crowd work way worse than this. So,
all right, don't make it worse.
Yeah, okay. So I think our criteria, that's sort of in every area, it needs to either be negative, neutral, or positive. So that way, when they go like something like crowd work, it's like their crowd work. You know, was it passable? Was it damn good? Like this would be what I would call passable. No points awarded, but no points deducted, right? We'll score it like ice skating. We'll have a base value. And if they do well, they'll be over base. I'm going to have to look into that. Ooh, stars on ice on Thursday, son.
Yeah, I hiked the trail. 4 days or
flying down.
5 days. Let me think. It was about an hour train ride and then a 20-ish minute bus ride. So I guess 4 day. You mean where you camp out overnight and you're traveling up to like 14,000 feet above sea level, and it's 4 full days, like sun up, sun down, sun up, sun down, sun up, sun down, like that, where you like sit in the woods, that kind of thing. And yeah, I did. I guess I did 4 days because I took the train. Yeah, I've climbed Mount Everest. I mean, I flew into Nepal and took some selfies. That's what you're talking about by climbing. All right. It's all right. It is I absolutely highly recommend. It's hard. It's a rigorous, tough thing to do, but it's so rewarding, you know, and you learn about yourself. You discover these things about yourself, and you have all these questions. I remember it was either at the end of day 2 or the beginning of day 3 when I you get up at like 5 a.m. so you can hit the trail by 7 a.m. and it's like I remember thinking, when this is all over, I wonder if I'm going to end up having a smug sense of superiority to the lame motherfuckers who took the train. seen. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll give you shit. We're done.
Okay, so it's not a Coors. Longtime friends of the show will remember that Charlie Barron's had the most offensively obvious plant that we've ever seen on the show. Now, as a reminder, or for those of you who weren't here, Charlie Barron's was doing a little bit of crowd work, and he was talking, I think, about dogs. Anybody out here got a dog? And everyone was like, yeah, and he picks this one guy. He goes, you got a dog? The guy goes, yeah, man. And he goes, what's your dog's name? The guy goes, Coors. Everyone kind of giggles. And he goes, Coors? And then he goes into about a 5-minute bit, clearly pre-written, based exclusively on the fact that that dog's name was Coors. It's the most clear plant I have ever seen, maybe in anything. Except maybe my garden. It's the most clear plant we've seen. Given away only by the fact that Charlie Barron's had 5 minutes of material locked and loaded, ready to go, right? I think that was fake. The fact that he just kind of did this whole sort of diatribe now, an eloquent person who's light on their feet, they can improvise something like this in front of a crowd. Excuse me, would you? You see, they can improvise something like this in front of a crowd. It's not unheard of. It's not even that unlikely. But let's go back and listen to it one more time to see just how refined it is. See if we can spot anything.
Really, it's hard. It's a rigorous, tough thing to do, but it's so rewarding, you know, and you learn about yourself. You discover these things about yourself, and you have all these questions. I remember it was either at the end of day 2 or the beginning of day 3 when
I think he's making this up as he goes. I mean, he is a great actor, so we don't know. We don't know.
I you know, you get up at like 5 a.m. so you can hit the trail by 7 a.m. And it's like, I remember thinking, you know, when this is all over, I wonder if...
What the fuck are you doing for 2 hours? Brushing your teeth? Like, I don't understand. You have to get up at 5 so you can get on the trail at 7? Anytime I've ever been living out of the backpack, you sleep for as long as you can, and then you wake up, you stand up, and you go.
I'm going to end...
I've never been to Machu Picchu, though.
...up having
not physically.
A smug sense of superiority to the lame motherfuckers who took the train. And I don't know. It remains to be seen. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll give you shit. We're done. I'm done with that. I'm glad you went. I'm glad you went. And I'm glad you sat next to the audience microphone so people could hear you at home in a very convenient twist. You know, the more we examine this, the more I'm beginning to wonder just how organic this crowd work is. Because he is positioned 3 feet from the microphone. Like, he's a guy who's right there, who happened to misunderstand what David was asking about going to this place that's very obscure. Very few people that you'll ever meet have been there. It's not like the Pacific Crest Trail or something where it's like if you're out west and you're hanging out with the hiking types, maybe they've been on the PCT, you know? I've met many people that have. Never anyone that's been to Machu Picchu and then also misunderstood when I was asking, oh, so did you walk? Did you take the walk? And they're like, I don't know. It could have been, no, well, like, you know, there's so much serendipity here that it really, really does raise some red flags for me. So many things had to go right in order for this moment in his big comedy special, his big return to the stage. So much had to go right for that to happen this way. Now either the gods of YouTube are on your side,
or one of your many, 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 many improv friends and fans were willing to kind of help you out here, because again, you know that crowd work is very, very popular. Now, if it was just this misunderstanding, that would be one thing. If it was just the fact that this person was sitting right next to the audio mic for peak audio quality in the moment, that would be one thing. If the person just happened to misunderstand, you know what I'm saying? But all these factors together start to kind of, as I've said before, form a mosaic of a poser. You're a Gen Xer. That's got it really sticking your craw.
Sorry, I'll give you shit.
It sticks in my craw.
I'm done with that. I'm glad you went. I'm glad you saw it. It's an amazing thing. It's one of the coolest things on this planet. And
this guy happened to be sitting, again, perfectly in the front row, only feet away from this audience mic. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments.
The Inca Trail is one of the most just stunning feats of civil engineering I've ever seen. You know, and I've been to Lego.
Okay, before we go into this farther, I need to go out with the old and in with the new. Go have a piddle and grab myself something to sip on. Be right back. Don't you like that? That is, by the way, Bard Fox on YouTube. BARDFOX. They have been incredibly gracious in letting me, yours truly, use their music. It's cool. They got a bunch of stuff over there. Go check out Bard Fox. It's a cool little black and white fox emblem. They got a bunch of like 1 hour long song, like music to study for or music to game to or whatever. And they're all an hour long, and none of them like repeat the same way twice. It's not just a song on a loop. Like you could jump into this one, which is, by the way, called Double Check Your Pack. RPG music, 1 hour long. You could jump in at 40 minutes, and it's the same song, but it's different. I mean... a good time. Go check out Bard Fox. If you decide to like and subscribe over there, be sure to tell him that Eeks sent you.
Land. So the bar is up here.
Or Jippo.
You know. But just to give you a brief overview.
We're going back a little bit.
The trail is one of the most...
By the way, we've got about half an hour-ish left in the show, and when we get to the end of our coverage of David Cross's It's the Beginning of the End of the Beginning of the End, we'll be doing a musical performance. So, stay tuned.
Just stunning feats of civil engineering I've ever seen. You know, and I've been to Legoland, so the bar is up here.
Oh, the road to Machu Picchu.
You know, but just to give you a brief overview, it was built, created in the mid 1400s up to the early 1500s in Peru, in the Andes mountain range, in the middle of a mountain range in the middle of nowhere.
A lot of math, as they say. I know it's technically geography, but...
And what they had to do was, with whatever rudimentary tools they had in the 1400s in Peru, cut stones, bring them, create a path where there was none, right? They had to remove trees and anything that's in there, and the path is only like this, right? And there's no...
Not all bidets spray cold.
As though we haven't gotten inundated with enough bidet commercials.
You know,
if we could afford one, we'd have one. I mean, I can't. But most people.
Side exit. There's no, you are creating a path. It's 37 kilometers long.
37 kilometers. I bet he's about to insult the English system.
And there's no, you just go
imperial system. What is it?
Forward or backwards. That's it. Because on your... The left is the...
I'm 3 inches confused.
Mountain face, and to the right is a drop to your death. And they've created this out of nothing, right? And really steep ascensions.
You can tell he's not working his material around very much. Because, like, he's written this out, clearly, and he's practiced it, but I don't know how often he's, like, going out and playing this to other clubs. Because a lot of other... stand-up, like purist stand-up comedians, they would be filling out all this like middle nonsense, like veritable nonsense, where like he's just describing the way the road is and how impressive it is. Like there'd be more sprinkled in here. This just seems like a guy who is admittedly a solid live storyteller, just kind of telling it off the top of his head, which wouldn't be bad if I was like at an open mic or like chilling to see some local comedy and some guys working through some new stuff. But like for David Cross's triumphant return to the stage, returns to the stage with his ferocity, absurdity, and razor sharp wit. This wit is less than razor sharp. It would not pass the drop a lemon test.
Face, and to the right is a drop to your death. And they've created this out of nothing, right? And a really steep.
See how it kind of seems like he's forgetting what he was saying, or like what part comes out, and then it was like really nice, and it's very steep.
Ascensions, is that right? Is that the right word? Okay, and descents, not dissensions. Why?
I mean, ascent is still climbing, right? Like, you know, doesn't need to be ascension. What the fuck? Fuck it. Ascend versus ascension. Ascension versus ascent. Ascent refers to the physical act of moving upward, climbing or a slope, while ascension usually denotes a formal, metaphorical, or religious rising to a higher level or position of power. So you ascend something if you're climbing it, or you're experiencing ascent when you're climbing something. But if you like, oh, that's ascension, which is why descension doesn't work, because why would they glorify a word that means going to hell?
Isn't that the case? Words are weird. All right, so
they're weird, but they make more sense than you're pretending, and I think you know that, Mr. Masterful long-form storyteller.
And I mean, really, like really steep, and so at 14,000 feet above sea level, so thin oxygen, and again, 37 kilometers long, and there was nothing, so they had to cut these stones, bring them, create an entrance, and just lay them down, go back, get more stones, up and down, and it just goes to show you that.
See, it seems like he's trying to remember stuff. I have to take a break. I will be right back. I'm sorry, this is back to back here. Back into it. Power outage saw us having a few technical difficulties. That's not what that break was for.
There are benefits to slavery. Absolutely.
Oh, Machu Picchu. Okay. Funny. It's funny.
Not have been built without slaves, right? And now white people from all over the world can go like, oh, look at this, whoa, this is fun, you know. All right, I'm gonna clean that one up a little bit there. And it's amazing. They were the World Cup stadiums of its era, you know?
Man, it must have been fun to be a fly on the tree watching him and Bob Odenkirk hike Machu Picchu for a fucking week. I don't have any fucking friends I can hike Machu Picchu with. My friends have been skipping the dunes since we were 23, man. You know what I mean?
And I know what I'm about to say is a hypothetical.
There's one, maybe two. One who could do it physically, two who would struggle to do it physically but has the mentality of a warrior. He'd probably do it in combat boots and gym shorts or some shit.
Purely hypothetical. But, you know, I like to think that at least in a relative sense, I'm a pretty decent person. You know, I try to be kind and generous and considerate and empathetic. You know, when people are upset, that's upsetting to me. And I try to be a good listener, you know, and I think that I would have been a really great slave owner, you know? No, I mean like the best. I would have been a great, you know, where all the other slaves were jealous of my slaves, you know, being like, I wish Cross was my master. Well, my master's racist, you know. See, I would engage with them. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, what's going on? What's with the long face? What are you so upset about?
B-Dub's bottomless apps for not.
Darren, I'm trying so hard to make this art with you, my man. You're not a very good collab here. Maybe this is what it was like. Maybe on the trail to Machu Picchu, we'd be in the middle of making a point and then stop for 15 straight minutes. Unless you poke him and hit skip.
I don't know what's got you so upset, but let me tell you something, okay? And this is a fact. This is a true, what I'm about to say is a true fact.
Okay, he's doing like a slavery thing, and it's cutting edge or whatever. It's uncompromising and fearless, clearly.
Did you know?
Yeah, Athens, Georgia, notorious for being particularly woke.
That it takes.
By the way, we're going to get to the end of this joke, and then I'm going to do my little musical performance for you all. The thing you've all been waiting for. And then we're going to split for the week.
It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. That's right. That's right. So what do you say we turn that frown upside down, conserve a little energy, and... Hey, listen, I don't know what's got you so upset, but let me tell you something, okay? I've been watching you, and I believe in you, and I know what you're capable of. And I know you can pick more cotton than that, okay? Let's go. Hey, who wants a treat? Who wants a treat? You want a treat? I gave him a treat.
Hey, give it up for David Cross, ladies and gentlemen, my good friends here on YouTube. Wow, what a journey we've taken today. You might call it Machu Picchu-esque. It was steep grade, very steep grade. It was a steep grade, and I'm not going to refer to that any more times, even though I introduced that information thrice. A masterclass in long-form storytelling. It's the beginning of the end of it's the end of the beginning of the end. So, not confusing. Go check it out for your own. This is a song. I remember when we used to sit in the government's yard down in Trenchtown, try to overthrow all them hypocrites as we would burn on through the night. Good friends we've had and good friends we've lost, sit along the way. In this bright future you can't forget your past, so dry your tears now I see. used to ride the Bentley, driving wicked away in the car. In the basement down in my house, had a big plate to keep it atop the list of who got laid. And then cake for Worcester Rye, keeping the band alive, and he could do it too. Dropping about the mic so we could burn all through the night. Him and the boy, they were sent to get the job done. And then we would look who's the fight up with a courageous left hook hand. I'm calling upon my friends so we can get our due, and me and the kid will be laying the fattest tracks that you ever knew. Up, 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 and away my super dreams of the wind. I'm selling out today, and I don't give a damn about no music biz. I'm just singing my songs, and what I'm telling you is everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. I said, everything's gonna be alright, my friend. If it's not alright, it's probably not the end. And everything's gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Well, no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. I said no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Let's do a little piano solo. Said no man no cry. Said no man no cry. No man no cry. Thanks for hanging out for Critical Leaks, my friends. It was a pleasure as always. I will see you next time, but in the meantime, be nice. Thank you. Cue the applause.